The rain had been falling since dawn, steady and unforgiving, as if the sky itself had decided to empty years of sorrow onto the streets of a quiet Ohio town. Ethan Miller stood beneath the weak porch light of his small rented house, staring at the cardboard sign taped crookedly beside the door. The edges of the sign were already soggy, the ink bleeding like tired veins. Ethan rubbed his hands together, not just from the cold, but from the weight pressing down on his chest. He was 36 years old, exhausted beyond his years, and hanging on by threads he couldn't even see anymore. Inside the house, a soft, cough-echoed "Vaddy," came a tiny voice. "I'm here, buddy," Ethan called back, forcing warmth into his tone. 7-year-old Noah was everything Ethan had left, since his wife, Claire, passed away 2 years earlier after a sudden illness. The world had shrunk into school lunches, overdue bills, and quiet nights that hurt the most. Ethan worked 2 jobs: daytime warehouse shifts and late-night repair work from his garage, but it still wasn't enough. Rent was overdue. Electricity notices stacked on the kitchen counter like silent threats. Renting out the spare room wasn't a choice anymore. It was survival. A sudden knock cut through the rain. Soft, hesitant, almost apologetic. Ethan frowned. No one ever knocked this late. He opened the door. Standing there was a woman drenched, head to toe, rain clinging to her dark hair and soaking the thin coat wrapped tightly around her body. One hand clutched her swollen belly protectively. The other trembled at her side. Her eyes met his wide, frightened, yet quietly desperate. "Hi," she whispered. "I saw the sign. Is the room still available?" Auntie hesitated. Every instinct told him this was a bad idea. A stranger, pregnant, late at night, and he barely had enough for his own child. But then he saw the look in her eyes. It was the same look he saw in the mirror every morning. Fear mixed with hope. He stepped aside. "Come in," he said. "You're freezing." She exhaled a shaky breath of relief and stepped into the house, bringing with her the scent of rain, uncertainty, and something that would quietly change everything. Her name was Anna. That's all she said when Ethan asked. No last name, no explanations in Espanol. He knew what it felt like to not want to explain your pain. The house was small, 2 bedrooms, a narrow kitchen, and a living room that still held traces of a woman's touch in the faded curtains and family photos Ethan hadn't yet found the strength to take down. Anna sat carefully on the edge of the couch, hands resting over her belly. Noah peeked from behind the hallway wall. "Curious, Daddy?" he whispered loudly. "Is she an angel?" Ethan swallowed hard. Anna smiled for the first time. "No," she said softly, "but I wish I were." That night, Ethan offered her a bowl of soup, cheap, simple, homemade. Anna ate like someone who hadn't had a proper meal in days, apologizing between every spoonful. She insisted she could pay a little once she found work. Ethan waved it off. "We'll figure it out," he said. He didn't know why he trusted her. He just did. Days passed, then weeks. Anna settled quietly into the rhythm of the house. She kept to herself at first, but gradually, something shifted. She helped Noah with homework when Ethan worked late. She cooked simple meals that somehow tasted better than anything Ethan had eaten in years. She sang softly while washing dishes that carried warmth and sadness at the same time. Noah adored her. One evening, Ethan came home to find Noah asleep on the couch, his head resting gently against Anna's side. She looked up, startled. "I'm sorry, he just fell asleep." Ethan shook his head. "Don't apologize." For the first time since Claire's death, the house felt alive. But Ethan noticed things. Anna flinched. Whenever luxury cars passed the house, she never used a phone except for quick, anxious checks. She avoided talking about her past. And yet she carried herself with a quiet grace that didn't belong to someone who had nothing. Ethan didn't ask. Some truths reveal themselves when they're ready. What Ethan didn't know was that Anna wasn't her real name. She was Eleanor Brooksby, only daughter of William Brooks, a powerful investment magnate whose name dominated financial headlines across the country. Eleanor had grown up surrounded by wealth, control, and expectations that crushed the air from her lungs. When she fell in love with a man her father deemed unacceptable, everything changed. When she became pregnant, it shattered. William demanded control over the baby, over her future. Over every decision she made, the man she loved died suddenly in a workplace accident weeks later. That was the moment Eleanor ran. She didn't want money. She wanted freedom. And somehow, she found it in a quiet house with peeling paint and a single father who asked for nothing but honesty. In kindness, the black SUV didn't belong in their neighborhood. Ethan saw it the moment he pulled into the driveway. 2 men stepped out first. Then a tall, older man with silver hair and eyes that didn't miss details. Anna froze inside the house. "That's him," she whispered. Ethan stepped forward instinctively. "Can I help you?" William Brooks smiled. cold and practiced. Here for my daughter. Silence swallowed the porch. Ethan felt anger, but stronger. Then that was something else. Protection. Protection. She's not going anywhere, Ethan said. William extended an envelope. Take this, he said calmly. Enough to fix your life. Ethan didn't even look at it. You don't buy people, he said, and you don't scare them into obedience. For the first time, something cracked in William's expression. Anna stepped forward. I'm not coming back, she said, voice trembling but firm. I finally feel safe. William left that night. But storms don't end just because the sky grows quiet. Press began circling the area days. Later, neighbors whispered, threats arrived quietly. Anna knew what staying would cost Ethan and Noah. That night, she packed her bag while Noah slept. Ethan found her by the door. You don't have to go, he said. I do, she whispered, because you gave me something worth protecting. She left before dawn. Months passed. The house felt empty again, until a letter arrived. Inside was a photo. Anna holding a newborn baby, smiling. The letter read, You showed me what real wealth looks like. I've faced my past for my child. And someday, if life allows, I hope to return not as someone running, but as someone choosing. Tears blurred Ethan's vision. A year later, a familiar SUV pulled into the driveway, this time without fear. Anna stepped out, holding a baby. Ethan opened the door, and for the first time in a long time, the world felt whole again. Sometimes, the greatest miracles arrive disguised as strangers on stormy nights. And sometimes, the people with the least to give the most.